Turkey is an important NATO ally, and you can just look at the map. Bordering Iraq and Syria, the only ally that borders that part of the world. And Turkey has been enormously important in our joint efforts to fight ISIS, Daesh. We have been able to liberate in the US-led coalition to defeat ISIS all the territory that ISIS controlled just a few months ago, and more than 8 million people that were under ISIS control. And we have done that not least by using infrastructure bases in Turkey. So in the fight against ISIS, Turkey has played a key role.
Look, we are going to have a great healthcare system. We're doing great healthcare work. We've got things really running well. And if we get elected, if we take the House, keep the Senate, keep the White House, we'll have phenomenal healthcare. But right now, we've made it very good. And we have 180 million people on plans that they absolutely love, private plans that they absolutely love. But in this country, no, they have to work that out for themselves. We have absolutely, I don't even know where that rumor started. We have absolutely nothing to do with it. And we wouldn't want to. If you handed it to us on a silver platter, we want nothing to do with it.
Do you know which is which channel is which?
A good representation of Canadians in here. You're type
that might be the case.
Lovely. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Would you maybe come upstairs?
Well, I haven't asked that to the President today. I have over the period of time. We have a tremendous amount of captured fighters, ISIS fighters, over in Syria. And they're all under lock and key. But many are from France, many are from Germany, many are from UK. They're mostly from Europe. And some of the countries are agreeing. I have not spoken to the President about that. Would you like some nice ISIS fighters?
Look, if you look at the situation,
you can take everyone you want.
Let's be serious. The very large number of fighters you have on the ground are ISIS fighters coming from Syria, from Iraq, and the region. It is true that you have foreign fighters coming from Europe, but this is a tiny minority of the overall problem we have in the region. And I think number one priority, because it's not yet finished, is to get rid of ISIS and these terrorist groups. This is our number one priority. And it's not yet done. I'm sorry to say that. You still have fighters in this region, in Syria and now in Iraq, and more. And the whole destabilization of the region makes the situation more difficult to fix the situation against ISIS. Second, some of these foreign fighters are being judged in Iraq because of the deeds precisely they acted in this very region. And we will have a case-by-case approach. We have a humanitarian approach for children, already organized, and we will have a case-by-case approach. But for me, the very first objective in the region is to finish war against ISIS. And don't make any mistake. Your number one problem are not the foreign fighters. This is the ISIS fighters in the region. And you have more and more of these fighters due to the situation today.
What a pleasure it is to sit down with President Levits of Latvia. Opportunity for us to talk about the tremendous work that we've been doing together over the past years. Canada has close to 600 troops in Latvia as part of the NATO Enhanced Forward group. We are leading a multinational mission in Latvia, holding strong against Russian disruption, Russian interference, as we've seen elsewhere around the world. But mostly it is a tremendous pleasure to be in Latvia because of the deep ties, the shared values, the shared commitment to democracy and to the rule of law that, of course, are exemplified by this new president. It is an opportunity for us as well here in London to remind ourselves of how important NATO is. It is the 70th anniversary of NATO. It is an alliance that is incredibly successful, has brought together countries who share values, who share perspectives to stand strong in a world that continues to be challenging and uncertain in many ways. This alliance at 70 is extremely important to Canada and to people around the world, and we're going to continue to be dedicated to it.
Mr. Prime Minister, I am happy to meet you here first time, but I hope that it would not be the last time. We are both members of NATO. NATO is the strongest military alliance in the world. And because also, not only, but because also the contribution of Canada, but I would also mention the contribution of Latvia, because all 30 member states of NATO are contributing to the common security. We, especially in Latvia, we are very glad and thankful for Canadian engagement in Latvia. We are both, as Canada and Latvia, ready and willing to do so, and we are looking forward for the discussions how to strengthen the NATO. And I would say also from my part, there are of course each time discussions, but the result should be good, so that we will go out from these discussions more stronger than before.
So what's the message for Trump?
Fascist! Fascist!
What's your first message to spelling?
Trump!
Spending has called member countries and allied countries in the past delinquent for not meeting the 2% standard. Where would you put Canada in that, as they're not?
Slightly delinquent, I'd say, Canada, but they'll be okay. I have confidence. Just slightly delinquent. No, some are major delinquent. Some are way below 1%, and that's unacceptable. And then if something happens, we're supposed to protect them, and it's not really fair, and it never has been fair. And they're paying up. We are talking to Germany tomorrow, and they're starting to come along. They have to. They have to. Otherwise, if they don't want to, I'll have to do something with respect to trade.
So Canada's okay?
And with trade, I have all the cards. So we have built something in the last 3 years that's been incredible. You've seen it. We're up $21 trillion. And China's down about $32 trillion. Really.
The President knows well that Canada has been there for every NATO deployment. We have consistently stepped up, sent our troops into harm's way. We're leading in Iraq. We're leading in NATO, in Latvia. We continue to step up like most of our allies. There are some countries that, even though they might reach the 2%, don't step up nearly as much, and I think it's important to look at what is actually being done, and the United States and all NATO allies know that Canada is a solid, reliable partner that will continue to defend NATO and defend our interests.
And we do have tremendous coordination with radar, with all of the different things that, technologically, we have tremendous coordination between Canada and the United States. So.